We can have people get to their seat. We'd like to get started. Good evening. Welcome to the 2021 College of Wooster W Association Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We're finally here. We made it. This is going to be a special evening for us. This evening, we will recognize the accomplishments of 5 student athletes and 2 outstanding coaches who've been selected for the induction into the College of Wooster W Association Hall of Fame. Their induction brings the total number of Hall of Fame members to an even 300 here at the College of Wooster. The format for tonight's induction ceremony was established to accomplish 2 very important goals. One is to ensure that the main focus of this evening is on those outstanding inductees who will be recognized, and also at the same time making it easier for friends, family, former teammates, and coaches to be a part of this special ceremony. Accordingly, I will have the distinct honor and pleasure of presenting each of our inductees who will share their thoughts with you on their honor. Before we get to our inductees, we will be hearing opening remarks from 3 outstanding leaders. At this time, it gives me great pleasure in introducing the president of the College of Wooster, Sarah Bolton.
Thank you so much, and thanks to all of you for being here tonight and for coming to Wooster's Black and Gold weekend. It's just wonderful. It's wonderful to be together again to celebrate these wonderful inductees that we're honoring tonight, to celebrate the W Association that does so much to support our student athletes and to create a great experience for them here on the campus, to celebrate you all here as family and friends of the college. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. I'm really thrilled to be with you tonight to celebrate these incredible student athletes and coaches who've made such a tremendous impact here as we induct them into the College of Wooster W Association Hall of Fame. I want to congratulate all of our inductees for your excellent accomplishments, for all of your success, and especially to thank you for your continued connection with our college. For all of you, whether you've been at Wooster for most of your career, whether you were here briefly as a student or as a coach and are now back, we are so honored and we treasure having had you connected to our college, and we treasure the connection that you still have to us. We think of your connection with Wooster with tremendous pride, and we hope that you think of your time here in that way as well. After such a challenging 18 months without time together on campus and without being able to have this celebration last year, it's really particularly wonderful for all of us to be able to celebrate so many Wooster greats tonight and to honor the amazing impact that all of our inductees have had, both here at the College of Wooster and far, far beyond it. I also want to thank Mike Stoll and Eric and all of the W Association for your great work, both for your great work to select these amazing inductees, as well as for all that you do to support athletes at Wooster. The W Association is now 112 years since its founding. That's a tremendous impact. Think about 112 years of student athletes. That's thousands and thousands of people whose lives have been impacted by the work of this association. Thanks so much for all that you do. It's also a great pleasure for me tonight to introduce our Director of Athletics, Amy Williams. Amy joined us here at the College of Wooster last summer, coming here from Kenyon College. Amy is, as you said, a terrific leader, and she has had a really tough job. Amy started at Wooster just 1 week before our athletic conference unfortunately had to make the hard decision to suspend competition for the fall season. So the first thing she had to do was to talk to our coaches and our athletes about that really, really tough moment. But throughout last year, if you're just visiting, you would have been so proud of what our athletes and our coaches and our whole athletic staff did. They showed the impact of the incredible leadership of athletics on this campus. Our athletic staff ran our COVID testing program, not just for student athletes, but for the entire campus, running more than 30,000 tests to try to keep all of our campus and to succeed in keeping all of our campus safe and operating and running through an extraordinarily difficult time. As I've said to a lot of people today, you don't know the quality of a community until you find yourself having to do something, having to face something that you've never faced before. And Amy and her team stepped up and were truly, truly incredible. Having run our public health program like that for months and not being able to have athletic competition, they then, miraculously, in the spring, were able to create a competitive season within the course of just about 10 weeks. A competitive season not just for spring sports, like should happen in the spring, not just for spring and winter sports, but for essentially every team, fall, winter, and spring, all competing together in the spring. It was an incredible effort. You have never seen our fields and our courts and our weight rooms as busy as you would last year. An extraordinary achievement, an extraordinary testament to our athletic staff and the crucial role that athletics plays for our students as they learn and grow into leaders who are ready to make great things happen, even as it was last year, against all odds. So once again, thank you all for being here this weekend, for being here to celebrate tonight. Congratulations to all of our honorees, and thanks to all of you for your connection and engagement with Wooster, and for all that you do for our student athletes and for our college. I hope that you continue to enjoy the weekend, and please join me in welcoming Amy Williams.
Thank you, Sarah. Hello. Sarah's introduced. I'm Amy Heasley-Williams. I'm the Director of Athletics and Physical Education, and I'm thrilled to be here with you on this very special evening. As we get started, I want to take the opportunity to thank a few very important people. Kevin Smith and the Athletic Communications team for organizing our athletic history and putting the written and digital program together. To our marketing and communications team, who's working behind the scenes to live stream this event. To President Sarah Bolton for her confident and caring leadership in these recent unprecedented times, making it possible for us to be here tonight. To Eric Reeby and the W Association Hall of Fame Selection Committee, including RJ for his dedicated work to the Hall of Fame website. The Office of Alumni and Family Engagement, especially Sharon Rice, and to our Wooster coaches and administrators, past and present. I know there are a number of them in the room tonight. Can I ask those past and present coaches and administrators to please stand? Come on. Thank you. Thank you for teaching, mentoring, and providing the grand experiences for our student athletes, both on and off the field. Thank you, as Sarah said, for all of the good work that we did last year. I'd like to share a few Wooster athletic accomplishments from this past year. Despite the shortened season, we had a lot to celebrate. We had 2 NCAC champions, Dylan Garrettson, the class of 24, men's track and field outdoor pole vault champion, and Isabel Hoover, the class of 22, women's track and field, the outdoor 10,000 meter champion. We had NCAC runners-up in baseball and women's lacrosse. We had the NCAC Newcomer of the Year, Stephanie Griffin, in softball. We had the NCAC Defensive Player of the Year, Carrie Scheidler in women's lacrosse. Our head women's lacrosse coach, Liz Ford, was inducted into the Ohio Lacrosse Hall of Fame. And Steve Moore was awarded Wittenberg University Athletics Hall of Honor Lifetime Achievement Award. Last year, our student athletes achieved a cumulative GPA of 3.42. Our highest sports on the men's side were golf with 3.76, soccer with a 3.46, and swimming and diving with a 3.40. And on the women's side, our tennis team earned a 3.70 last year. Field hockey was 3.66, and track and field was 3.60. Over the past 2 years, we've earned 5 NCAA postgraduate scholarships. These awards represent the epitome of the scholar-athlete ideal: academic excellence, athletic accomplishment, and service and leadership. Our 3 award winners in 2021 ranked Wooster among the top 5 of all NCAA institutions, any division, last year. It will be these student athletes, among others, who will be in consideration for induction into this prestigious Hall of Fame 10 years from now. And now to today's Hall of Fame inductees, to Allie and Frank and Seth and Kate and Travis and Coach Moore, and to our distinguished Hall of Excellence recipient, Coach Lingle, and to everyone who came to celebrate them for a walk down this memory lane. Thank you for joining us on this special night. It's an honor to have you back home at Wooster. Congratulations, and welcome home. I'd now like to welcome Mike Stoll, class of 1974, to the podium. Mike was a 3-time letter winner in men's basketball and captain of the team, a 2-time Ohio Athletic Conference champion, and led the team to the second round of the 1973 NCAA tournament. He still holds the team's statistical record in assists with 12 that was set back in 1972. After Wooster, Mike worked for the Kroger Company, where he was VP of Corporate Benefits and Chief Executive Officer of the Little Clinic. I've enjoyed getting to know Mike through the W Association over the last year. As chair of the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, he serves as an unofficial historian of the Fighting Scots. His care for the college is genuine, and he is, without question, one of Worcester's biggest cheerleaders. Mike?
Thank you, Amy. Holy cow. I wasn't expecting that. She made me sound good. Hey, thank you, Amy, President Bolton, Eric, fellow W Association members, and Hall of Fame alumni and guests. Want to welcome and thank you for being here. Your presence here is a gift to the Hall of Fame inductees, to the W Association, to the college, and Wooster Athletics. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Special thanks to our Hall of Fame committee, who worked so hard to look at hundreds of nominees for these awards. I want to thank Kate Keller and Carolyn Strunk, Dave Knowlton, Lori Howerton, Don Berkey, Eric. Thank you for all your time and effort in coming up with this special class. It was actually the class of 2020, but we'll take 2021. It's just great everyone being here in person. So thank you for your hard work. And a special thanks, as Amy mentioned, special thanks to Ron Maltridge, better known as RJ, for his tireless work on the Hall of Fame and our historical athletic database. It's a fantastic history of Worcester athletics, and if you haven't looked at it, please do so. You can find a way to access it in your program, and trust me, it's worth your time. But thank you, RJ, for your tireless efforts in keeping that database up to date. And I also want to thank Amy Williams and Tom MacArthur and Sharon Rice, Kevin Smith from the college administration, who helped make this Hall of Fame ceremony possible. You guys have just done an outstanding job, so thank you so much. You know, I truly believe that a college or a university is great if it has at its core excellent academics. That's why we go to school. It enhancing the mind. But a college and a university that also has an excellent athletic program is not only great, but I think it's special, enhancing the mind, the body, and the spirit. Something that is uniquely authentic about the College of Wooster is our history of having both. And tonight we celebrate our great history with arguably, and with all due respect to the other Hall of Famers that are in the audience, with arguably one of the greatest athletic Hall of Fame classes of all time. We are going to induct into our Athletic Hall of Fame 5 outstanding and exceptional student athletes and 2 legendary and iconic coaches. I was recently watching Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame ceremony in Cooperstown, New York. I'm a big baseball fan, and their Hall of Fame is the creme de la creme, right? And I heard the chairwoman of the Baseball Hall of Fame, Jane Forbes Clark, make a comment that really caught my ear, and I thought, wow, that is a great observation. She said that one of the many attributes a Hall of Fame provides is it connects generations. It connects generations. And certainly we're going to see that tonight. With our inductees and participants who will be on stage, we'll be representing classes from the 30s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 90s, and 2000s. And an audience of alumnus here that represents most of the other decades in between, connecting generations. We even have a granddaughter of one of our inductees who will be accepting the honor on behalf of her grandfather. I met her at a meet and greet, and she actually introduced me to the great-grandson of this recipient, connecting generations. And think about it, we're honoring 2 coaches who coached their last game at Wooster exactly 50 years apart. Yet each have hundreds of former players and families that are here on campus this weekend to honor them. Connecting generations. I hope you have time to take a look at the brochure at some point and read the bios and the accomplishments of our inductees and in our Hall of Fame brochure, created so wonderfully, by the way, by Kevin Smith, our sports information director, describing the extraordinary records and achievements of our 7 inductees. If you do, it will become abundantly clear, this is an amazing Hall of Fame class. Our 5 student athletes being honored have some incredible achievements in the 7 different sports that they participated in. We have a 3-time Conference Player of the Year. We have multiple students that achieved All-American honors. We have one of the greatest 2 sports stars in Worcester's history. We have the first player in program history to be a 4-time All-Region selection. We have a student athlete who holds Worcester's all-time record in interceptions and punt return yards. We have a student athlete who ranks among the most hits in a season, not in a conference, not for the team, but in Division III history. And on and on. You sort of get the picture. And then on top of that, we have 2 iconic coaches. One, arguably the greatest coach in the history of Wooster athletics, and Coach Moore. After 33 years of Wooster basketball, head coach, he retired as the 2nd winningest basketball coach in Division III history, in a career that included 900 wins. Quick story, before the meeting, I saw Steve and we were reminiscing. And Steve was the starting point guard for Wittenberg in the early 70s, and I was a starting point guard for the College of Wooster. Hated playing him. Hated playing him. He was relentless. He was tough, tenacious, competitor. He was tough. And I was thinking before for this event, if somebody would have told me in the early 70s, Mike, do you think Steve Moore is a Hall of Famer? I would have said, he's a hell of a player. Yeah, he's Hall of Famer for Wittenberg. Didn't expect him to be in the Hall of Fame for Worcester. But nobody deserves it more. And secondly, Coach Lengyel. He's the first recipient of the new Hall of Fame Distinguished Award of Excellence for someone who had a profound impact on Worcester athletics and our student athletes and went on to achieve overall excellence and leadership in their career field. Coach Lengyel was the perfect Hall of Fame inductee and honoree for this inaugural award. And actually, just a brief comment about these two coaches. Not only are these two men Hall of Fame coaches and administrators on the field and on the court, but they are Hall of Fame human beings that not only taught football and basketball, but they taught important life lessons, teamwork, respect, selflessness, accountability, inclusion, sacrifice, humility. They were among the best, shaping lives. That's what the greatest coaches do, and these two did that. So congratulations to Allie, Frank, Seth, Kate, Travis, Steve, and Jack. In sports parlance, this Hall of Fame class is a grand slam. So sit back and enjoy it as the ball gets hit out of the park. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Mike. I want to take this opportunity to thank Mike for his outstanding leadership as the chair of the Hall of Fame committee for us, the W Association. Somebody's already hit on it already, but Mike does put countless hours into the selection process, which obviously resulted in a tremendous class of 2021. So again, thank you, Mike, for your leadership. We probably have, I know we do, I've seen a couple of Hall of Fame members present this evening other than the ones getting inducted. So at this time, if anybody out there that has been a past inductee to the Hall of Fame, I'd like you to stand to be recognized at this time. That's you. Thank you. Now for the reason why we're here. We'll start with our first recipient, first inductee, Allie Drushal Sloan. Allie Drushal Sloan is the gold standard of liberos at the College of Wooster and within the North Coast Athletic Conference. After all, she's one of 10 players in NCAA Division III history with at least 3,000 career digs, and more than a decade after graduating, she still sits atop the NCAC and Worcester lists for most career digs with 3,043. As a first-year student athlete on the 2005 team, Allie was the defensive leader on one of the best teams in program history. The Scots finished the season 25-7. The 25 wins are the third in program history and the program's top total since 1984. The following year, she logged 888 digs, over 300 more than her rookie season, en route to earning her first of 3 straight NCAC Libero of the Year awards. The Lakeville, Ohio native started to make waves on the national level as a junior, with then NCAA Division III record 56 digs in a 4-set match against Ohio Wesleyan. 2 weeks later, Allie broke Worcester's career record for digs during a match against Allegheny College, in addition to serving on a 17-0 run during the 3rd set, marking the 8th most consecutive points served in Division III since the 30-point system was established. She went on to lead the Division III, averaging just over 8 digs per set at 874 total, and was the first libero chosen as a first-team All-NCAC selection in conference history. As a senior, Allie helped the Scots to a second-place NCAC finish the program's highest in 23 seasons. The Scots officially locked up the number 2 seed for the NCAC tournament with a sweep of Ohio Wesleyan, where she logged her 3,000th career dig on her 22nd birthday. At season's end, Allie and teammate Caitlin Riley became the first Scots to earn All-American honors from the American Volleyball Coaches Association. According to her coach, Sarah Davis, the position Allie played is a position that doesn't get a lot of glory, but her incredible work ethic made her one of the best liberos in the country and undeniably important part of Wooster's volleyball success. She put in a lot of extra work, never backed down from a challenge, and just kept digging shot after shot to keep the rallies alive. Allie was a true competitor and shining example on and off the court of what it means to be a fighting Scot. An accomplished two-sport athlete, she's also earned 9 all-conference honors as a member of the Worcester's track and field team. She cleared 10 feet 8 inches to win the indoor pole vault at the 2007 NCAC Championships and earned all-conference laurels in the javelin all 4 years. While Wooster was always on her radar, thanks to numerous family members attending the college and being the granddaughter of J. Garber Drushal, Wooster's president from 67 to 77, she originally wanted to go elsewhere, but after an overnight visit with the volleyball team, she knew that Wooster was a place I belonged and would allow me to achieve my goals. After graduating with a geology degree, she furthered her education at the University of Colorado Boulder, worked for Marathon Oil for 5 years, and she's presently a petroleum geologist at Centennial Resource Development in Denver, Colorado. Allie is married to Justin Sloan, a 2005 graduate, a terrific student athlete in his own right, 2-time all-conference football offensive lineman, and the couple has 2 children, Avery and JW. Please join me in welcoming our first W Association Hall of Fame inductee, Allie Drushal Sloan.
Well, Eric took my entire speech, so makes this a little easier. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to those watching online. First of all, it's great to see everybody in person, and I'm going to assume you're going to laugh at any jokes I tell under your masks, which is great. I hope you all are healthy, your families are healthy, and that you all are safe in this interesting environment that we're living in these days. First of all, just what an honor it is to be with this class. There's really no words to describe it. I'm not going to tell Coach Moore how old I was when I first started watching him coach basketball in the PEC, but it was a few years ago. Thank you to my coaches, to my teammates, to my professors and the broader Wooster community. You all have been a part of my life for forever, basically, many of which are here tonight, so I can't say thank you enough. Most importantly, my family that's here, to thank them, my parents who made it to every single game that I can remember, regardless of the drive, and my husband, who's here with me tonight. He's excited that the Sloan name's in the Hall of Fame, even if it was by marriage. We had to say that one. That's okay. And my kids who are here sitting with my parents. You guys can wave. But they're my rock. They're my supporters, and they support me through everything I choose to do in this crazy thing called life. So, as Eric mentioned, I pretty much started bleeding and was born with black and gold blood. So when I mentioned that Wittenberg may be an option to go to school, I got a lot of blank stares and eye rolls. But I think I made the right choice. And my grandfather was the president here. Unfortunately, he passed away before I was ever able to meet him. But hearing all the stories from working multiple alumni weekends has been huge and just wonderful. He made a great impact. My dad was a graduate. My brother was a graduate, as many of you know. And then Justin, myself, and my sister-in-law are all graduates. So with that, just, when you try and reflect on how fast 4 years at Wooster goes by, it's hard to put it to words, as I'm sure many of us feel that way today. But being a student athlete taught me a lot. It served me well, basically, every day going forward in life. And, the things that come to mind first are perseverance, which I think a lot of us have learned a lot more about in the last year and a half, time management, conflict resolution, tenacity, and just a lifelong network of supporters throughout the years. The list goes on, and I'm sure you'll hear many more descriptors throughout the evening. So thank you. I can't thank you enough for being here. It's wonderful, and I just, am very honored to be with this class and look forward to celebrating this evening. Thank you.
Our next recipient, Frank Andrew Knutson. When Frank enrolled at the College of Wooster, cross country and track and field certainly was not at the top of his mind. Fortunately for the college, Frank answered the call when head coach Carl Munson did some recruiting in a physical education class during his sophomore year. Only the recruiting pitch was not for running, rather it was to join the team as a pole vaulter. And after it became quite evident pole vaulting was not his calling, one of the most dominant distance runners in program history took off. Knutson splashed onto the scene with the winning time of 10:55.7 in the 2-mile race in a dual meet against Mount Union College, and he went on to win that event 5 more times as a sophomore. Among those wins was a time of 10:01 against the University of Akron. Frank posted a similar blue ribbon time of 10:07 at the Big 6 meet, believed to be the popular name for the track and field championship for the Ohio Intercollegiate Athletic Association, which is now the present-day OAC. He was the man to beat in the area over his 2 years on the cross-country team. The Martins Ferry, Ohio native won every single race. That impressive stretch was capped with a 4.2-mile course record time of 21:24 at Oberlin College in the 1933 Big 6 meet. Other cross-country highlights included course records at Wooster and Muskingum College. Thanks to a talent-filled roster in 33, Munson took a big leap with the track and field program by entering Wooster into the 10th annual indoor track meet in Cleveland's Public Hall. There, Knutson tied for first place in the 2-mile race en route to helping Wooster finish as a runner-up in a star-studded field. Come outdoor season, it was business as usual for Frank, who won the 2-mile race in all 7 meets and again posted a time of 10:07 at the Big 6 meet. As a senior, he nearly matched his best time with a 10:02 against Oberlin and capped his career with a 3rd straight 2-mile title at the Big 6 meet. After graduating with a degree in Greek and Latin, he became a secondary education teacher and coach and spent most of his career in various school districts in Ohio. Heavily involved in service, Frank and his wife Evelyn directed American Service Committee work camps for high school and college students for 3 summers, and they spent time directing summer church camps for the Church of the Brethren. After World War II, he traveled to Germany and assisted with rebuilding a destroyed hospital. Frank passed away in 1993. He's survived by his sons Byron and Roger and 5 grandchildren. Here to accept his award on his behalf is his granddaughter, Laura Holt. And it was interesting because she shared something with our Amy, our athletic director, then she shared it with me that running is definitely in their family. Of course, her grandfather was a runner. Her father was a cross-country runner at Earlham. She herself was a high school cross-country runner, and her son, who I got to meet, just completed a 100-mile run-rabbit run in Steamboat, Colorado last week. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing Frank Knutson into the W Association Hall of Fame.
Good evening. I'll try not to knock this off the podium. Good evening, and thank you very much for the opportunity to accept on behalf of my family the induction of Frank Andrew Knutson into Worcester's Hall of Fame. I express my gratitude to the College of Wooster for hosting this event for my grandfather and the other inductees here, and my sincerest appreciation for the excellent communication and warm welcome from Amy Williams, Sharon Rice, Kevin Smith, the Best Western Hotel, the host of other people here at Wooster College who have made this such a special occasion for us, and to my son and daughter-in-law who accompanied me here to accept this honor on behalf of my grandfather. As indicated on the slide, Frank Andrew Knutson won every single cross-country race he competed in per Ed Arndt's book, Black and Gold, A History of Athletics, and 3 straight 2-mile titles at the Big Six meet, believed to be the popular name for track and field championships of present-day Ohio Athletic Conference. An impressive array of accomplishments is also outlined in the event program and has been mentioned by Eric in his generous introduction. So Frank was born on the first day of spring, the 21st of March in 1912, to Andrew and Lucia Rebecca Knutson in a small farming community called Scotch Ridge in Belmont County, Ohio. At that time, his parents were sharecroppers to a neighbor, and shortly thereafter, they bought 80 acres, which they farmed with a team of horses, never buying any self-propelled farm equipment during the rest of their lives. They raised crops for their animals to live on and to sell, and they also sold butter, eggs, and meat in Martins Ferry each Saturday. Frank graduated from Martins Ferry High School in the spring of 1930, 1 year after the Great Depression had started. During the last part of high school, he hired out work in the mornings before school to help deliver milk for a dairyman, and after school, he worked on the family farm. He and his family attended a Presbyterian church on the hill above the farm, and by the nature of his attendance there, he received a scholarship to attend Wooster College. He was the first person in his family for generations previously who was an athlete, and also the first to graduate from a 4-year college, Wooster College, in 1934. The story Frank told was that during his sophomore year, the college track coach, Coach Munson, asked his PE class for anyone who wanted to pole vault to show up for track practice. Finally, the coach told him that he should try running before he killed himself. And that was his first introduction to distance running, having never competed in any sport in high school. Frank later had a grandson, Eric Knutson, who also tried to pole vault. His father reported that often Eric would be seen using the same style as Frank, trying to straddle the pole as he crossed the crossbar, or to try to go over the crossbar head first. He too gave this up and became a great sprinter and triple jumper in track. Frank was known as the Flying Dane in newspaper articles. Pericles once said, "What you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone, monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others." Frank's legacy is a testament to this adage. It began as he was teaching in St. Clairsville and Gallipolis, Ohio, where he coached track and cross country and led his teams to victory in an adult regional AAU cross country race, and both a 6th place and a championship performance in the state AAU meet for high schools. Frank's running prowess and interest in the sport continued throughout his life. He followed our family to Malad, Idaho, where he persisted in running for enjoyment into his later years. What I took for a sweet eccentricity when my grandpa could be seen running around town during any and all kinds of weather, I now see with different eyes, as a lifetime commitment to something he both excelled in and that brought him pleasure. This love has lived on in his posterity. Frank's son, Byron, competed in cross-country and track in high school and college, where he was captain of cross-country and track teams both his junior and senior years at Earlham College. Byron stopped running in the middle of his 30s and took up race walking until his late 40s. When he retired, he took up mapping old pioneer trails running north and south off all the major east and west trails to Oregon and California, and water ditches used in placer gold mining in Idaho. Frank's son, Roger, also ran the distances in high school. I am Lara Knutsen Holt, Frank's granddaughter. I ran at the state level in the 800 meters and ran cross-country and the 2-mile at the local and regional levels all 4 years of high school. Frank's grandson, Eric, won the high school state triple jump his junior year and placed 3rd his senior year. He ran on the 4x200 relay team that set a state record that lasted for 15 years. He was a starter on the basketball team his junior and senior years that placed 2nd at state both years, and attended college at Idaho State University on a track scholarship. Frank's grandson Nathan placed 6th his junior year at state in the discus and second his senior year in the discus at state. He was a starter on his high school basketball team that won state his junior year, and his daughters Chloe and Sophia both run cross country. A great-grandson, Scotty, has taken up distance running as an adult and has competed in the Longview Half Marathon, the Tri-Boulder Half Ironman, and was recently a 38-mile pacer for his brother. Brandon, as was indicated a few minutes ago, another great-grandson who has accompanied me here along with his wife, JC, has also taken up distance and trail running as an adult, competing in Colorado in the Blue Sky Marathon at Horsetooth Reservoir, in the 100-kilometer Never Summer endurance race, and just last weekend completing, you did hear it right in case you were wondering, 104.5 miles in Steamboat Springs in the Run Rabbit Run, where he ran a sub-30-hour qualifying time. So if Pericles' quote is to be taken at face value, that what you leave behind is not what engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others, then I say, long live the Flying Dane. Thank you.
I think all those running stories got me tired just listening to it. Man, wow, that's impressive. Impressive. Thank you. Next, we'd like to recognize Seth Mastrine. The level of support from the fans in the stands, especially the bagpipers and marching band, plus constant contact from head coach Jim Barnes, and, quote, the awesome feeling playing in front of hometown friends and family for 4 more years, had Seth hooked to don the black and gold. After a future roommate and a few other close friends helped Seth get on track with balancing the time commitment, one of the top playmaking careers in Wooster football history took off. While he holds the program's single-game, season, and career records for interceptions, Seth broke onto the scene on special teams in 1997. There he averaged 8.5 yards over 29 punt returns as a freshman, helping jumpstart an offense that averaged 34.5 points per game. His efforts landed the rookie on the All-North Coast Athletic Conference squad as a return specialist, and as a team, Wooster won its first conference title since 1959 with a 7-1 NCAC record. Ironically, Wooster's all-time interceptions leader didn't record his first one until his sophomore year when he emerged as a key member of the secondary. Seth registered 42 tackles and 2 interceptions while helping Wooster to an overall 8-2 record. Junior year marked his breakout campaign, which was fueled in large part by a monster day at Allegheny College. Seth intercepted a school and NCAC record 4 passes, including 1 in the end zone in overtime, to clinch a 13-10 win for Wooster. Seth's game-clinching pick snapped the Gators' 12-game series winning streak and handed Allegheny its second NCAC loss at home in the decade. Seth snagged 5 other interceptions that year, helping Wooster to another 8-2 mark. He debuted on the College Sports Information Directors of America All-American team and earned the first of 2 first-team All-Conference honors at defensive back. He doubled up on All-Conference laurels as a second-team selection as a return specialist. Following his senior campaign with 50 tackles and 7 more interceptions, Seth earned repeat All-American honors on Cosida's team and made Football Gazette's All-America squad. No Scot since then has had 7 or more interceptions in a season. His 18 career picks still stands as a school record, and upon graduation, he ranked 3rd in the NCAC. He was Worcester's all-time leader with 981 return punt yards, and a total that's only been surpassed once, and he was just the 3rd, now one of 5, in school history with over 1,000 kickoff return yards. According to Coach Jim Barnes, Seth brought electric skills and tremendous excitement to the College of Wooster football program. Seth brought an inner confidence, a bit of swagger, and I have your back support to his teammates that certainly helped lead the team to a special era. When the ball went into the air with Seth on the field, something truly thrilling could happen at any time. He was one of the greatest at his craft and a distinct pleasure to coach. Personally, the history alumnus has worked in education since graduation. At present, he's an inclusion supervisor for the Learning Spectrum, a charter school for children with disabilities, and he coaches football at Central Crossing High School in Grove City, Ohio. The 2018 Wayne County Sports Hall of Fame inductee resides in Grove City with his wife Sarah and children Keaton and Ryder. Please join me in welcoming the next inductee into the W Association Hall of Fame, Seth Mastrine.
First, I want to say thank you to the W Association for setting up an amazing day and making this a special day for me and my family. Also, I'm kind of an emotional guy, especially when I play on the field, so pardon me for if I get choked up. I also like to congratulate the rest of the honorees on a well-deserved and accomplished athletic career. To say that this has been a humbling experience for me is a complete understatement. Just look at the class. Coach Moore, Coach Lingle. Whew. If this was a Hollywood and this would be the A and B and C, D list, I'm probably at the Z list down here. So it's truly a humbling experience for me. And if my players respect and admired me as much as your past players do, then I had done something right. I never played this game for recognition. I know that might shock some people, but I only started playing this game so I could actually hang out with my older brother, Bo, and his friends. I knew as the younger brother, if I didn't keep up with them, that I was going to be left on the sidelines, and that wasn't going to be acceptable. And I competed as hard as I could against his friends so I could be the better football player and athlete. I cannot stand up here and tell you that I was the hardest worker. I wasn't the best example of off-season lifting and workouts. But I can tell you when it came time to show up on Saturday afternoons donning the black and gold, all black uniforms, coming down the hill behind the bagpipers at John P. Pat Stadium, my teammates were going to get everything from me. To my teammates and my friends from high school, Brandon Miller, Andrew Rohr, Kent Miller, I thank you guys for your support. To the message board, thanks for letting me know that it's my year. That's an inside joke, I'm sure. To my teammates and friends from college, I could go on with the list of everybody. I could name my entire defensive line and secondary and linebacking group, but I won't get into that. But practicing and playing with these guys on a daily basis made me a better football player. All of these guys are the unsung heroes of this award and this accomplishment. They are the reason I wanted to succeed on the football field. And they deserve the credit. Darn it. My roommate, Buddy. He's not here right now, but he did show up today. He was the scout team player pretty much all 4 years. He didn't play much, but the heart that he had, and he's showing up every day, was truly inspirational. And still, arguably, the greatest moment of my college career was watching him score his only touchdown at Oberlin and then getting a 15-yard penalty for spiking the ball. My coaches from high school all the way up to college, Coach Cedar instilled the team-first mentality, which I carried with me throughout my playing career. I had 4 defensive back coaches in 4 years here at the College of Wooster. Coach Dean Paul, who is the head coach now at Ohio Northern, I think. Coach Derek Winston, he's no longer coaching here, obviously. Coach Schmitz, who wasn't a DB coach, but he ended up being my head coach. His guidance and leadership for that last year and then also 4 years under him while I was coaching was pretty amazing. And finally, Coach Barnes, who isn't here today. I spoke with him recently, but I came to Wooster because of him. He trusted me as a player to make the right play at the right time. He allowed me to go out and be an athlete. And it was my sophomore year that I felt that I had let him down big time. We had sat down after that year, and he had told me that he actually expected me to be an all-conference player and that he wanted more out of me. And that was kind of hard for me to take. So, quick story. My sophomore year, we're playing Allegheny in the famous "they burned an A in our game" field. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but there was a somebody charred an A in our field. We still think it might have been set up. We don't know yet. But all practice that week, Coach Barn and I have been reviewing a play, which was a quarterback reverse pass. Quarterback leaks out, and he was like, they're going to run it to your side. I can promise you they're going to do it. Well, late in the fourth quarter, I can't remember what the down and distance was. I remember they ran this play. I saw the ball in the air. In my mind, I said, I can pick it, and I know I can go to the house. But what I did was I just made a conservative play and just made the tackle, which they didn't get the first down, so it was a great, it was fun. But in film session the next day, we ended up losing that game in overtime. But in film session the next day, Coach Barnes pauses it on this play and he goes, Mastrine, I thought you were going to pick this off and go to the house and we were going to win the game. Man, that hit. That hit me hard. So I told myself I'm not going to play conservative anymore. I'm going to go after every ball I can. So if you fast forward to the next year we played Allegheny, the rest is history. I gambled a lot when I played defense, but only because I trusted our defensive scheme and our players. I also knew as a player to allow the game to come to me and don't get beat deep on the ball and just do your job. So I thank Coach Barnes for believing in me and giving me the opportunity. My brothers, I got some great ones. Bo, Eric, I have and will continue to look up to you for as long as I am breathing on this planet. I love you both. Your families are here. Your wives are here. I really just truly thank you for everything. And my athletic career can be traced back to you guys. I wanted you guys to be proud of me every time I took the field. So I thank you both for setting the bar extremely high for me, and thank you. My mom, my number one fan. My mom never missed a game, rain, snow, heat, whatever. My mom was going to be there. I cannot thank her enough for what she has done for me in my life. Always supporting, giving advice, guidance, and being a friend when I needed it. To my Uncle Harv and my Aunt Regina, who have been through everything with me, I thank you for the love and support. My mother-in-law, Sherry, and my sister-in-law and brother-in-law are here as well, and I want to thank them for being here, for sharing this opportunity and this experience with me. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the people that can't be here, that I know are watching down. My Nani and Nano, my grandma Gigi, my stepmom Betty Jo, and my dad. Each of them are missed. Not a day goes by that I don't think about each of them. And I know my dad is proud, and I just hope I continue to make him proud. To Phil Cass, you provided the guidance and friendship when I needed it the most. And finally, to my wife and to my two boys. Like Allie said, you guys are my rock. I know you were not around during this time of my life, but you are a big reason why I am the man I am today. When I was asked to go on that blind date, and I think that we were both very skeptical about going on a blind date with each other, but after that date, you had me forever and always. I'm so glad that you decided to go on a second date with me, even after the old lady tried to fight me. But since that day, you've always been my number one. Your dignity and passion for being a teacher and a wife and a mom and a daughter and a sister is Hall of Fame worthy. You should get an award just for dealing with me and our two boys. I know there's probably some people I missed, so if you are here and I missed you, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and standing by me. Thank you, and God bless.
Our next inductee, Kate Messer-Dulac. Instant offense. the two-word phrase sums up the impact Kate Messer-Dulac made on the College of Wooster women's lacrosse team upon her arrival on campus. She exploded onto the scene by leading the team in goals with 45 and setting the single-season school records for assists, 27, and points, 72, as a rookie in 1996, and already held the program's career assist record by the end of her sophomore year. With Kate helping lead the charge, Wooster opened the 1996 season with an 8-2 record. Among the victories was an 18-4 triumph over State University of New York College at Buffalo, a game in which she established new single-game program benchmarks for assists and points. Come season's end, Kate earned first-team All-NCAC honors, and she was selected to the Intercollegiate Women's Lacrosse Coaches Association All-North Central Region team. According to fellow W Association Hall of Famer Tamara Barnes-Kinzer and Wooster's head coach at the time, Kate was able to come into our program and have an immediate impact based on her incredible athletic talent, game knowledge, and leadership skills. As an offensive player, she had a keen awareness of knowing when to take the shot or when to pass it off for an assist, which made her a constant offensive threat. As a shooter, Kate always saw the open space and timed her cut perfectly to gain the best position to score. She created many scoring opportunities for her teammates by her ability to quickly read the field and find the open player. As a sophomore, she posted program's high marks in goals with 33, assists 23, and points 56, en route to collecting a second first-team all-conference honor and a second straight all-region certificate. She became Worcester's all-time assist leader against Earlham College, a game removed from her scoring a career-high 7 goals during an 18-3 rout over Wittenberg University. During Kate's junior and senior years, Worcester had a more balanced attack, but that didn't stop the New Hampshire native from registering a second 40-goal season and a third 50-point campaign during her senior year. When all was said and done, she went on to become the first player in program history to be a 4-time all-region selection, and her final numbers totaled 152 goals, 76 assists, and 228 points. Upon graduation, she ranked third in program history in goals and second in points. Kate's high school coaches, who was Kinzer's parents, factored heavily into her decision to attend Wooster, and after some pushing, she fell in love with the campus after visiting with her mother. And for her first 2 years in Wooster, she had a tie to both members of the Scots coaching staff, with sister Amy serving as the program's assistant. After graduating with a degree in sociology, Kate worked as a case manager at Child and Adolescent Service Center in Canton, Ohio, and she later moved back to her home state of New Hampshire to earn a master's degree in education. She's since worked as a school counselor and is presently guidance counselor for Marblehead Public Schools in Massachusetts. Personally, Kate and her husband Ben have 3 children, Owen, Teddy, and Layla. Please join me in welcoming Kate Messer-Dulac to the W Association Hall of Fame.
Hi. So I'm grateful and humbled to be here at this Hall of Fame induction, surrounded by all these other amazing athletes, inductees, coaches, and Wooster alumni. Thank you so much to the W Association, Wooster Athletics, and just the College of Wooster as a whole. My heart bursts with pride to be able to share this experience with my husband, Ben. I'm also emotional, Seth. Coming back here, I have to just inject here. Coming back to Wooster, I don't get here often. We live on the East Coast, and so, you walk on campus, and even though things have changed, it's still Wooster, and memories come flooding back. So it's been a pretty cool day. So I'm here with my husband, Ben, and my 3 children, Owen, Teddy, and Layla, and I feel so proud to share this with them. And have them be here to witness this. My only wish is that my late mom and dad, who both passed away about 3 years ago, could be here So my dad was my biggest fan, and he would come out from New Hampshire to watch games. My mom would drive in the fall by herself, 12 hours on a Friday, stay overnight, watch some things with me on Saturday, walk around campus, eat, go to bed, and leave Sunday so she'd get back to work on Monday morning. My dad wouldn't leave the farm, so he would come only in lacrosse season to watch a couple games on a weekend, and he was so proud. So that being said, I'm confident they're here with us for sure. He wouldn't miss it for the world. So at my time at Wooster, I was lucky to have wonderful coaches. As was alluded to, I had Tamara Barnes was my coach freshman and sophomore year, and her parents happened to be my high school coaches in New Hampshire. She recruited my sister right out of college to be her assistant, which was kind of fun, and they were here with me for 2 years. After that, Sarah Bennett and Liz Ford were my leaders, and I feel so blessed to have all of them. Their mentorship provided me with so much more than stats and records, but lifelong skills and memories. I'm so thankful to that my path led me here to Wooster, and I guess I just can only hope that my children have just as amazing experience in college as I did, and I hope athletics plays a big role. So thank you for having me.
Our next inductee is Travis Snyder. There's certainly plenty of Fighting Scots greats to debate over as to who are the best in the College of Worcester's tradition-rich baseball history. Travis Snyder certainly belongs in that conversation, and his play at the 1997 NCAA Division III World Series is a big reason why. The University of Southern Maine topped Worcester 7-1 in the 1997 series opener, and the Scots were on the verge of going 2-0, heading home early. However, a new script was authored in '97, with Snyder as a sophomore serving as one of the key contributors. Worcester's high-powered offense erupted for 19 runs in a 19-6 win over Chapman University, a game in which Snyder went 2 for 3 with a team leading 4 runs. In the next elimination game, Travis delivered a 2 for 4 performance and scored a pair of runs during an 11-7 win over the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. Then he delivered the game-tying single and a 2-1 win over Carthage College, in a game in which the Worcester native had 3 of the Scots' 7 base hits. Worcester eventually fell to Southern Maine in the championship round, marking the first of 2 runner-up showings for the storied program. Travis was the bright spot for the Scots as his first inning round tripper marked the program's Division III record, 104th homer of that season. Travis earned his first of 3 straight first-team All-NCAC certificates as a sophomore. On the year, he hit .465, with the average ranking at the second highest in program history, and the hits of 94 ranking as the 4th most in Division III history at that time. He was part of an offense that broke or matched 8 team records, while individually the Scots infielder established new single-season benchmarks for hits, doubles, and total bases. Fueled by a breakout season, Snyder was voted to the American Baseball Coaches Association All-Mid-East Region team as a junior after hitting .382 with 56 runs, 15 doubles, 9 homers, and 53 RBI. Similar to his sophomore year, Travis stepped up with the Scots back to the fence in the postseason, this time with a 3 for 3 performance with 5 RBI and 2 runs scored during Worcester's 12-2 triumph over Marietta College. As a senior, he earned a second All-Region certificate after hitting .352 with 62 runs, 17 doubles, 8 homers, and 40 RBI. His final collegiate hit, a 7th-inning single against Marietta at the Mid-East Regional, marked his 250th, making him just the second player in program history to hit that milestone. In fact, Travis is the second player in program history, now one of 4, to collect at least 250 hits, 200 runs, and 150 RBI over a career. According to head coach Tim Prederini, from the day Travis decided to come to Worcester, he was destined to be one of our all-time great players. His talent level was tremendous and was only surpassed by his work ethic. Travis's drive to succeed and overall ability he had helped lead our program and set the standard Worcester baseball has prided itself on for many years. The mathematics major is an insurance agent for State Farm, has owned an agency in nearby Ashland since 2001, and has served on the school board of Triway Local Schools since 2012. Personally, Travis is married to Yale Moore, a 1999 graduate, and the couple has 3 children, Peyton, Tripton, and Tyler. Please join me in welcoming Travis Snyder into the W Association Hall of Fame.
All right. First of all, congratulations to the other inductees tonight. Truly very, very proud to be part of this group. Everybody's already mentioned it's obviously a very talented group. So congratulations to everybody. And my first thank you, obviously, to the W Association. Obviously, none of us would be here tonight because they're running the event and got us all involved. So thank you for inducting us and inducting me tonight. You're a great organization. I appreciate this evening, and I appreciate all the support you give to the College of Wooster student athletes. I know on a small campus, so many of our students are athletes, so everything you do is a big difference to them. Also, thanks for everybody that's here supporting us. I know it's a busy time for everybody, so to take your time out on an evening and come and be here, we do appreciate it. Specifically for me, I appreciate my family being here. Tyler, Peyton, Tripton, can you stand up? These are my kids. The tallest one, Tyler's a sophomore at Triway. Peyton's an 8th grader at Triway, and Tripton's a 2nd grader. So they're very active. You guys can sit down before you embarrass me. My wife, stand up, Yael. The College of Wooster is very special to my wife and I. We met here in '97. We both graduated in '99, and then we got married at CalcArts in 2004. She's truly an amazing person and an incredible mother. With 3 kids and multiple sports and my attention span, we'd be completely lost without her. We'd be never getting where we need to go. So, Yael, thank you for every day you've given me and every day we spent together, and I love you. My parents, I had this big speech about my parents being at everything, never miss anything. My entire life, they were at every event. My brother was active with sports. I was active. Dad coached everything. Mom was our #1 fan. So I had this big thing about how they never miss anything. Well, unfortunately, something came up and they couldn't be here tonight. So they were supposed to be here as of yesterday, but they could not make the trip. They live 5 minutes away. So unfortunately, something came up. So. But I know is probably, if not equal, but probably even more important to them this night because the sacrifices that they made through the years to give my brother and I opportunities like this. As I get older, I appreciate it more and more. When you're young, you don't realize what they're doing, but when you're running around, driving your kids around, trying to get to everything, you really appreciate the things that they did for you when you were younger. So, Mom and Dad, I know you're not here, but I love you and thank you for everything you did. My brother's here. He brought his family, so about half this crowd, I think, is from them. Seth, where you at? Where's Bo at? Hey, Bo, you were some great athlete, evidently. My brother was pretty good, too. How'd you do your senior year against Triway in football? Yeah. Hey, Seth, my brother beat your brother. So, Barth, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I don't even know where you're at. There you are. Thanks for being here, Barth. Appreciate you being. And same thing with Seth. Seth, I was the younger brother. I followed him and his friends around. And again, they tolerated me and let me play. So thanks, Barth, for allowing me to do that. My high school basketball coach came. Where you at, Coach Montgomery? He's never taught me anything about baseball, but But if anybody in my life prepared me for Coach P, it was Coach Montgomery. They are two from the same mold. I'm very fortunate to have both of them in my life, and to have had Coach Montgomery be here. It meant a lot to me. And Becky, thank you as well. Coach, thanks for being here. Obviously, the coaches are one of the main factors that we're going to come up here and talk about as to where our success came from. In baseball, you have a lot of different assistant coaches. All of them, for me, were very benefited me very much. The one, though, that was there all 4 years was Barry Craddock. There he is, Coach Doc. Doc was a huge part of our success. He threw a lot of batting practice. He was our left-handed batting practice pitcher, the only one we had, so we had to use him pretty often. But he was, more than anything, he was the coach that we could go to when, I don't know, maybe the timing wasn't quite right to talk to Coach P about something. And that happened for me several times. So, Doc, thank you for always being there for me, and I'm excited to see what you continue to do with the program. Now to Coach P. I wrote this one probably about 3 or 4 times. I'm not even sure where I ended up with it. So I heard him say something about when I decided to go to the College of Wooster. I don't know what the quote was, but Coach actually decided for me. I was at home. We had the Roy Bates show on the radio, and he was interviewing Coach P. I was still trying to decide where I was going, but Coach P told Roy Bates I was coming to Wooster. So I figured if I went to Wooster, all my decisions were made for the next 4 years. I didn't have to worry about anything. But without a doubt, the best decision I made coming here, and obviously I came here as much as I love the campus and I love the mathematics department. I came here for the baseball, and I came here for Coach P. Now, Coach P was tough on us, but he was fair. He asked a lot of his players, but he gave us a lot too. The end of practices was usually dictated by sunlight, not by Lowry's dinner hours. We missed plenty of those dinners. For away games, Coach liked to get onto the field before the home team even got there, which meant about a 3-hour pregame for us. That's if we got through the pregame without Coach throwing a tantrum and walking off the field in the middle of hitting us infield. That happened several times, and it was usually because of Twiggy. Twiggy had about 1 million errors. But Coach's competitiveness is what he drove into us on a daily basis. We competed with each other. We competed with who we played against, the other teams as well. But a good example of Coach and how competitive he was, and I don't know what year it was, maybe my freshman, sophomore year, but down in Florida, we won 5 games in a 24-hour period, and somehow Coach squeezed a practice in there too. I don't know if it's mathematically possible, but he took all of our time down there. I guess he didn't want people goofing off down in Florida getting nipple rings or something weird like that. But there's no other coach in the country that I would have rather played for than Coach P. I loved every day playing for him. He taught me so much. He played me in more games than he played his own son. Sorry, Junior. And I'm very grateful, Coach, to every one of those innings that you gave me. And I enjoyed playing for you, every single one of them. So thank you so much for the memories you gave me and everything you taught me. The final group of people, obviously my teammates. I think we've all mentioned them. It's why we come back. It's why we kept playing. It's why you got up every day and went to practice. Your teammates mean so much to you. I'm up here because I played with great teams and great players. When a couple All-American or Hall of Famers had to stand up, there were several of the baseball guys, all of which I played with me. Pretty easy to understand how I got most of my hits when I batted in the lineup between 2 All-American Hall of Famers, Matt Jackson and Trevor Urban. So your choices are either pitch to those 2 or you got to pitch to me. So I did see some pretty good pitches, I think, because of who was in front and behind me. But at Wooster, we also had great leadership. Every year you come in, the seniors would run the show. Coach did a great job of passing that down as something he didn't have to worry about. It was just ingrained in the program. Fortunately for me, when I came in, we had great senior leadership. Matt Rogers, he was there for an entire decade. And to follow him, it was easy. So that was where a lot of our success came, was just through the senior leadership. It is the teammates I miss the most. I don't recall too many scores or details of the games. Especially as I get older, they kind of fade more. But the memories that come to mind, some of the ones I do remember. I remember Coach P getting mad at me or Noah, switching us in the middle of a warm-ups to where I was at second and Noah was at third. We both screwed up infield, so Coach switches us. So I go to third, Noah goes to first. Well, I think it was my first play at third base. I make a throw over to first and break Chris Meehan's nose. It was a little bit longer throw from second to third. I remember Sean Malone running into catching a fly ball, literally just running into the fence at Allegheny, and makes the catch, comes into the dugout. He had no clue where he was or what he was doing or who he was. But that was one of my better moments, or one of the things I remember the most of some of our games. And then obviously the bench clearing brawl at Earlham, of all places. And for the record, Coach P started that. We lost to Earlham somehow in the first game, and Coach P was just all over their third baseman, and that led to that bench clearing brawl. But we won a lot of games, but somehow I think we did manage to have more fun than wins. So most of all, thank you to my teammates. I hope you enjoyed playing with me as much as I enjoyed playing with you. And the last thing I want to do is just kind of highlight my favorite experience, and that was obviously the '97 season when we went to the World Series. The College World Series was an amazing experience, and one that I will cherish forever. Just playing baseball for a week, no school, no distractions, playing the best teams in the country. We ended up finishing second as national runners-up. Lost to the same team twice, so it is what it is. They're better than us. But that year, the World Series was played in Salem, Virginia. Beautiful field, minor league stadium. So we had to cross the Ohio border to get there. So I think it's probably a good time right now for me to say a special thank you to my probation officer, Rupert, for giving me permission to leave the state of Ohio to play in the tournament. I would have really regretted missing that opportunity. So in closing, the last thing I want to say to the College of Wooster, thank you very much. My 4 years here were incredible. I had a great time. Made many, many friends. And also to the W Association. This means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
As we've alluded to earlier, that we have 5 special student athletes who are inducting tonight, but also 2 legendary, iconic coaches. First, Steve Moore. The College of Wooster's storied men's basketball program was in need of a spark when Steve Moore arrived on campus as the head coach in 1987. Thanks to an abundance of excellent players and dedicated assistants over Moore's 33 years as the Fighting Scots head coach, it didn't take long for that spark to ignite, as Wooster established a reputation as one of the finest collegiate programs, big or small, in the country. The players' buy-in to Moore's coaching philosophies was immediately evident, as Wooster's win total increased by 6 to 14 in his first season at the helm. Another 7-win improvement followed in year 2, and with it, the first of a North Coast Athletic Conference leading 18 championships. Winning continued at an exceptionally high rate under Coach Moore, as Wooster won at least 18 games in his final 31 seasons at the helm, including at least 20 in each of his last 24 seasons, a feat upon his retirement that was tied with Duke University for the second longest active streak of 20-win season in NCAA men's basketball. While the Scots earned spots in 8 NCAA tournaments and won 4 NCAC titles in the 90s, the 2000s is where Coach's legacy is firmly cemented and when Wooster reached the top echelon of collegiate basketball programs. After not making the NCAA tournament in 2002, Wooster earned an automatic berth in the field in 2003 with a 93-71 win over Allegheny College in the championship game of the NCAC tournament. Three games later, Wooster held off Ramapo of New Jersey 68-64, and in doing so punched its first ticket to the semifinals at the Division III championships, where the Scots finished third. Worcester hasn't missed the NCAA tournament since 2002, a Division III record of 18 straight years, and the Scots streak is tied for the 7th longest in NCAA men's basketball history, regardless of division. 4 years after making its first national semifinals appearance, Worcester punched its ticket back to the Division III's Final Four with a 94-87 victory over the College of Brockport State University of New York. Then, the 2010-11 team opened the season with 20 straight wins, and the Scots' 2 losses during the regular season were by a combined 5 points. Top-ranked Whitworth University visited Timken Gymnasium for the sectional round of the national tournament, and Worcester utilized a key 11-2 second-half run en route to pulling away from the Pirates 76-66. That set the stage for the national semifinal contest against Williams College, which beat Wooster in the 2003 semifinals. The 2011 contest was trending that way again before Worcester staged a remarkable comeback to win 73-71 in a game in which it trailed by 17 points with little under 9 minutes remaining. The University of St. Thomas, Minnesota beat Worcester in the national championship game that year. Prior to arriving at Worcester, Coach Moore guided Muhlenberg College in Allentown, Pennsylvania for 6 seasons. There he helped the program post its first 20-win season in 40 years. Coach retired with a 39-year career record of 867 wins and 253 losses, including an extraordinary mark of 780 and 186 at Worcester. He's 12th all-time in NCAA men's basketball wins, number 2 all-time in Division III wins, and his student athletes earned 21 All-American certificates and 111 All-NCAC honors. One of his top honors came in 2008 when the National Association of Basketball Coaches presented him with the prestigious Guardian of the Game Award for Education, an honor also bestowed once on the legendary John Wooden. Coach Moore and his wife Jane live in Worcester and have 2 daughters, Beth, who graduated in 03, and Emily in 05, and have 4 grandchildren, Grace, Jack, Gwen, and Bo. It gives me great pleasure in welcoming Coach Moore to the W Association Hall of Fame.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, Eric. Very special to be introduced by Eric. I was hired in the fall of '87. I was hired after the school year had started in September. Coach Al Van Wee, our athletic director, came to me and said, Moore, the very first thing you should do in your job at Wooster is to call Eric Reeby. And I did. It was tremendous advice. It turned out great. Eric helped us turn it around. I want to thank the W Board for all you do for Worcester Athletics. These folks do so much for us, for the athletic program, work hard, give a lot of time. And we, as coaches and athletes, we all appreciate everything you do for us. I want to thank a guy who's behind the scenes. He's not here because he's working. Kevin Smith, our Director of Athletic Communications. He's awesome. We appreciate Kevin. I want to give him recognition because he puts this program together, works hard. Kevin works very hard, works over 60 hours a week and does a great job in his work. I am very grateful for this induction. And I thank God for all of the blessings that he has bestowed upon me, my family, and our basketball program at Worcester. He is the one deserving of all praise and honor. I was blessed to have had the opportunity to coach for 33 years at a tremendous institution. At the College of Worcester, we have had the best support that any small college program could possibly have. From the top, our administration over the years, the faculty and staff, and truly amazing fan support. From students, we've got some guys here from 2000 who are in the stands. Minnie Wu, you guys remember Captain Wu too. Tremendous support from students over the years, alumni, and of course the community. I thank you all. Players determine coaching success. And this induction is all about the many outstanding players and the men who have played for us, outstanding men who played for us, quality people who placed the team first. Now, this resulted in success on the court, but more importantly, in many enjoyable years, great memories, and special lifelong relationships. I think I'm the luckiest guy who has ever coached. I really believe that. No coach in any sport at any level has been blessed with more talented players who are also tremendously unselfish and hardworking men. No coach anywhere, I believe that. Obviously, I can't take the time to name them all. I mean, we've had so many great players, so many great men. I can't recognize all of our coaches who have been on our staff over the years. We've had many former players stay on and coach with us in part-time or volunteer roles for short periods, maybe a year or more. These men were very important. I know a couple of them are sitting here. In passing on to our young players what it meant and what traits were necessary to be a Wooster basketball player. We had very few full-time assistants in 33 years. We all know why, due to Coach Klein's long tenure as first assistant coach and then as associate head coach. But in the early years, we had, before Coach Klein, a couple of full-time assistants, Kevin Logston and Mike Worrell, and their contributions in recruiting were very instrumental in establishing our success at Wooster. What has been truly unique for us is the longevity and contributions of a few volunteer coaches. Randy Worrell for 20-plus years. Coach Bruce Martin made invaluable contributions for 26 years. But in regard to our coaching staff and the coaching, the man who was one of our great players and coached with me since he graduated in 1995 and is more responsible for the success of Wooster basketball over those years than I am, Coach Doug Klein, the head coach at the college now. In closing, I want to thank our many former players, our family, friends, and supporters who are here this evening. And finally, I have been blessed with the best coach's wife there could be. My wife, Jane, did a tremendous job raising our two daughters, Beth and Emily. And Beth and Emily, they are the ultimate coach's daughters. And along with their husbands, Nate and Ryan, are great parents to the joy of our lives. I don't know if I can get them to stand up, but the joy of our lives are Grace, Jack, Gwen, and Bo. Will you guys stand up? Hey, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Wooster. 33 awesome years. Go Scots. Keep it going. Keep it going. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to say, Mike, thank you for the very kind words about me as a player. Mike was really kind in the fact that he did not mention a great win for Wooster. My worst loss ever as a player. We were juniors, Mike, and Wooster beat Wittenberg in the Ohio Conference Tournament Championship. He's too kind. Thank you.
One final inductee for this evening is another legendary, iconic coach. As Mike Stoll outlined in his welcome letter and in his opening remarks this evening, Coach Jack Lingle is the inaugural recipient of the W Association's Distinguished Award of Excellence. Coach Lingle's impact on not only the student athletes here at Wooster, but the athletic program in general, along with his outstanding leadership, distinguished career, and accomplishments beyond his time at Wooster, made him a unanimous choice to receive this award. Here to introduce Coach Lingle are three of his former Wooster student athletes, Thomas Boardman, Jim DeRose, and R.J. Maltrich. Please join me in welcoming those gentlemen to the stage at this time.
Just so you know, it's not going to be 3 times as long. All right? So, one of the reasons we're here is obviously Jack Lingle. He coached Wooster for 5-6 years and had a great record where he turned it around from 1-8 to 8-1. And the three of us today, Mastrine, if you had the blind date and wore this hat, you probably wouldn't be married today. All right? But one of the things Jack did besides come up with the Fighting Scott logo, he also made his team wear these hats, and because of the Vietnam War and the Rangers. So you'll see a lot of these hats around. The three of us, I'm just sort of emceeing. I'm going to get done real quick. We get together with the Lengyel years. We've had it four times now, and about 60 people were present here today. So you can recognize the power and of a coach by the people he brings back, and he brings 60 of us back, and there's a lot of them that have passed, obviously. So Jim, he was the captain of the team in what year? 71. All right, with Tom Krivas. And Tom was in 69 with Carter Smith, and I was in 70 with Thompson and Showalter. So Jim is going to give a little history about Coach.
Well, good evening. I won't repeat my introduction, thanks to Ron already giving it, but it's an honor and a privilege to have this opportunity to introduce Jack Lingle this evening on this most important occasion. But I'd first like to congratulate all of this year's inductees into the Hall of Fame. Your accomplishments and contributions to the College of Wooster are significant and very impressive, so congratulations to all of you. I'd also like to take a moment, RJ mentioned my teammates, and it's hard to believe, but teammates and friends from over a half a century ago, and many of them are here this evening. Would you guys just stand up for a minute, and your wives as well, just to come on, don't be shy, just a moment. I hesitated to do that because many of us have difficulty standing at our age. But Jack Lingle has a long and distinguished career in intercollegiate athletics. He's done so since 1957. He began his career as the freshman football coach at his alma mater, Akron University, and followed a path which has taken him from the gridiron to the administrative ranks and also to the private sector. As a coach, he served as assistant football coach at Akron University, Heidelberg College, and Cornell University. He was named head football coach and lacrosse coach at the College of Wooster in 1966 and remained here for 4 years. As RJ said, during those 4 years, he took a 1-8 program and transformed us into an 8-1 conference championship team. Now, he did have some different styles from his predecessor. It's been said that his predecessor would also often take his football team out onto the Douglas Quad Green where we used to practice and have them sit on the grass and provide a lecture on football. Coach came in and transformed the program with some new methodologies. He introduced new drills with names like gassers, bull in the ring, and our favorite, the nutcracker. But he's perhaps best known for his greatest task and achievement as a coach, and that's the rebuilding of the football program and the healing of an entire community at Marshall University following the tragic airline crash that killed 37 Marshall players, 9 coaches, and 25 boosters. Jack was head football coach at Marshall from 1971 to 1974, and his impact at the university and in the community was chronicled in the Warner Brothers film We Are Marshall, starring Matthew McConaughey as Jack Lingle. You know, I can only imagine what it's like to have Matthew McConaughey portray you in a film. But after leaving Marshall, he actually spent 3 years in the private sector, but soon re-entered the intercollegiate ranks in athletics administration. He was the associate director of athletics at Louisville in 1980, at the University of Missouri from 1981 to 1984. Following his stint at Missouri, he was named the director of athletics at Fresno State, which during his tenure won the Men's Basketball National Invitational Tournament Championship in 1984. Jack returned to Missouri as director of athletics in 1986, and following a 3-year stay, he was named director of athletics at the United States Naval Academy. He remained at Navy for 13 years, from 1988 to 2001, and oversaw a 30-sport athletic department and was responsible for major sports facilities, new construction, and renovations. During his tenure at Navy, he received a Lifetime Service Award from the Annapolis Touchdown Club. He was appointed to the U.S. Naval Academy Foundation Board of Trustees in 2001, and the athletic training facility at the Naval Academy has been named in his honor. Since his retirement from Navy, Jack has been active as a consultant and serving in leadership positions in athletics, the community, and numerous professional organizations. In the interest of time tonight, I won't delineate his many accomplishments in all of those areas. He's been the recipient of numerous prestigious awards, including in 2018, the American Football Coaches Association's highest award, the Tess McLaughlin Award. Prior recipients of that award include 6 U.S. presidents, J. Edgar Hoover, Bob Hope, General Douglas MacArthur, Lieutenant General Jimmy Doolittle, the Apollo 11 astronauts, and John Wayne. And I would attest that if John Wayne were still alive when We Are Marshall was made, he would have portrayed Jack Lingle. Jack was also the recipient of the National Football Foundation and College Football Hall of Fame's John L. Toner Award for his work at Navy, among numerous other awards. Jack and his wife Sandy have 3 children, 6 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren. They reside in Annapolis, Maryland. There's a poem by Linda Ellis titled The Dash, and it illustrates the importance of the dash that ultimately will appear on all of our tombstones, and how we're challenged to think about how we live out each day during that dash. In many ways, looking at the breadth and depth of Jack Lingle's career and his accomplishments and his relatively brief time at the College of Wooster, we were but a small part of what will ultimately be his dash. And yet, while here at Wooster for only 4 years, he impacted lives and left his mark on so many of us. To illustrate this impact, let me now introduce my teammate, my friend, and my College of Wooster brother, Tom Boardman.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, RJ. By the way, the Lingle years had a program last night, and I heard Matthew McConaughey was there.
He was.
Yeah. All right, all right, all right. So I get to follow a Wooster Hall of Fame member, Ron Maltrich, a Wooster Board of Trustee member, Jim DeRose, and I'm just an average guy. But I'm here to tell a story. And the story goes something like this. A short time after Coach Lingle took over the program at the College of Wooster and had achieved some success, he received a call from the dean's office. Coach, I need to see you. Coach went up into the old administration building, found his way into the dean's office, walks in. The dean says, "Shut the door." He says, "Coach, I've taken a look at your roster, and do you realize that you have over 90% of your roster filled with Catholic boys? You do understand and know that this is a Presbyterian-rooted institution, don't you?" Coach said, "Dean, when those Presbyterians start playing football, I'll start recruiting them." It's a true story. I was one of those Catholic boys. Those of us who attended the Lingle Years reunion last night heard a wonderfully moving testimony from another one of those Catholic boys. A wonderful story that speaks volumes about the character of the man Jack Lingle. Just as Coach Lingle's caring for that man who spoke last night and his fulfilling a father role for him, just as that impacted his life forever, I too was the recipient of Coach Lingle's extraordinary and special caring that went beyond the gridiron. Without his urging, I wouldn't be here today, because I was leaving Wooster. I had come 2.5 hours from Toledo to the College of Wooster, and that was the furthest I had ever been away from home. And I came down for 2-a-day practices in the middle of August, and it was hot. And I was miserable, and I was homesick, and I was leaving. I'd even called a coach at the University of Toledo, a baseball coach, and I said, "You got a spot for me?" He said, "Sure, kid, come on up. I'll find you a spot." I would have been gone before classes even started. Needless to say, the fact that I'm here today, assisting in his introduction, indicates how convincing he was. We used to say he could sell ice to an Eskimo. I met my wife here. I've sent 3 of my kids to the College of Wooster, and I just enrolled my oldest grandson this year, the class of 25. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all the young men and women whose lives have been touched, who stand as his legacy, I am proud to introduce my friend, my coach, and the winner of the first Distinguished Award of Excellence inductee, Coach Jack Lingle.
Thank you, fellas. I appreciate the very kind introduction. These were three of my great football players, and there are several here also tonight. President Bolton, W Association Board of Directors, Mike Stoll, college staff, Hall of Fame, athletes, and guests. I'd like to at this time introduce my wife, Sandy. Would you please stand? It's an honor to be here this evening. The College of Wooster has been the most rewarding experience of my coaching career, and I will always feel a part of the Wooster football program. Throughout my career, I've always believed that a university, through its athletic program, provides a wonderful opportunity to teach and develop leadership, character, integrity, and sportsmanship. The players, the football players and lacrosse players at Wooster traditionally go on to be very successful in their chosen fields of endeavor. And we are all very proud of your successes. More importantly, these teams, as Ron's mentioned, have over the years had 4 reunions and developed a terrific brotherhood and have stayed together all these years. And some of those student athletes, as they mentioned, are here tonight. Jim DeRose, Board of Trustees, R.J. Multridge, Jim Ratty, Tom Boardman, Bubba Latch, Scott McGrain, who played lacrosse for you. Scott, where are you? All the rest of you that were not introduced, please stand up. Scott, thank you. Many, many wonderful memories of the College of Wooster throughout these people. Now, all of us here tonight have been in the arena, and that's something we all share in common. I will miss you. I will miss the competition. But when we meet again on other days, I will look into your eyes and see the reflection and embrace the memories of the day we spent together in the arena. I shall never forget you. God bless you. And God bless the College of Wooster. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I really appreciate having this award from the College of Wooster, where I have so many memories and so many great athletes and memories of those athletes that have improved I stand on the shoulders of my mentors and my leaders and the players that were here tonight and all the players that I've ever been a part of. I stand on their shoulders and accept this award on behalf of them. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's give all our inductees one final round of applause. What a great evening. Again, thanks to the leadership of President Bolton, Amy Williams, Mike Stoll. Sharon up there? Yeah, thank you. I didn't get a chance. No more emails from me now, Sharon. You're lucky. No more emails, but she's been tremendous and been very vital in making this happen. This concludes the 2021 W Association Hall of Fame induction. Reminder that there is a post-ceremony reception at the tent behind the Galt Alumni Center. There will be golf carts out there for those of you that need them. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us for this special celebration tonight. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. Oh, hold on. Yep. Stand up. Thank you. Again, have a great evening. Thank you, everybody.